Last week on the Devil's Den, we took you through what the Devils are and why they are here. This week, we're going to introduce you to some of the Devils you may not have heard of yet. This is Tasmanian Takeover. The map is back.
Brand onto it. Long kick inside forward 50. Cameron again with a strong mark.
Just great ball use there and finished off by the Tassie skipper in style. He was never going to miss.
Down to the pressure.
Siggins
takes it out of the ruck and throws it on the boot. Outstanding!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Devil's Den on Tasmanian Takeover. We are the number one fan podcast of the Tasmania Devils, here to preview, review, give you a heads up on what to expect in our inaugural year in the VFL. My name is JD. This is Fred. How you going, Fred?
Very good, JD. I was very excited to get that first podcast out of the way. A little bit nervy again, like the first time, but it was I was really enjoyed that and got some good feedback, which is nice too. It's always good to hear from the listeners.
It was good to get the cobwebs out, and it's been really, really popular. It's been our number one podcast since we started up early last year doing the Jack Jumpers podcast. Tassie Devils go straight to the top. So thank you to absolutely everyone who listened to the very first Devil's Den last week, where
Legends.
We took you. We just last week, if you haven't listened to it, go back and have a listen. We set the foundations of what to expect from the Devils this year. And this week, we're going to take you through some of the names that perhaps you haven't heard of. But first, we've got some big news that was announced during the week. The Devils, not long after we recorded our podcast last week, announced their leadership group. Did you want to take us through the leadership group, Fred? There wasn't a whole lot of surprises there.
No, you actually predicted a couple of them, which is very unlike you. so you've done well there.
I'm usually useless.
I think, yeah. Well, I didn't say that. Yeah, so no surprise, Robbie Fox is the captain for us. With his wealth of knowledge, who he's been playing under, I think it was an absolute given. He's 32 years old, but, you know, you need those older footy players in your team to really balance the ship, because a lot of these other players don't really have the experience he does about keeping your head and sort of tempering the expectations and things like that. So that's a really good appointment. Excellent stuff there. And vice captain, this was one I didn't see coming, but he is a bit of a gun, which was Jai Menzies. So he's a vice captain. Like I said, absolute gun of a player. Don't know why he's not on an AFL list. It's mind-boggling, but a really good young player in that role. They've obviously picked it through a draw. So the players have picked the captains and vice captains, and they've seen Jai as someone that's obviously setting the tone somewhere, and he got picked. So congratulations to Jai. And the other sort of leadership group is Brad Cox Goodyear, which probably no surprise either. We sort of picked that as well. Highly skilled, very professional. I think even I seen on a Facebook post that he's never been as fit as he is right now. So that's always good to hear. Yeah.
Right.
And Big Hugh Dixon, he's the other leadership alumni, as you probably could call him. So, yeah, it's really good to see those four guys recognised for their good work as they've got the year started with Webley taking the reins. And it's good to hear that, good to see that they've got those jobs and they're being given those responsibilities. So it's really good.
Absolutely. Now, if you want to go and have a look at those guys and their playing style, we actually did a bit of a breakdown on all four of those guys, plus Sam Siggins last week. We sort of predicted the leadership group a little bit before it was announced. So if you want to have a look, go back and have a look at those guys. There is one extra name that we didn't predict in the leadership group that we're going to go through now, and that is a gentleman who was on the Sydney Swans list last year, Caleb Mitchell. Now he looks fantastic. He's basically an Isaac Smith clone. He was taken with pick 40 a couple of years ago, made his debut against the Tigers. He's played 3 AFL games. He's a wing midfielder, and when he moves, mate, I don't know if you can see it, but he's got a bit of Bontempelli about him, I reckon. He's very smooth mover. He almost looks like he's running in slow motion, but he's got a booming right foot, and will add, a little bit more AFL experience. So really good pickup by the recruiting staff, and obviously has leadership qualities as well. Do you know much about Caleb Mitchell, mate?
Well, he's a left footer. That's to start with, mate. He's a lefty. I always keep an eye on my lefties.
Yep.
Yeah, he got drafted at like you said at 40. They saw something in him. The Swans did. He is the archetype of Isaac Smith, like you said. He's very wiry. I think he just had he needed to just get a lot more development going. I think they saw something in him, but given the position that he plays and how many Sydney do have, he can get the opportunity at the AFL level, unfortunately. But lucky for us, he comes back to us and has a game for us, which is really, really exciting. And let's see that Isaac Smith prototype, shall we? I reckon.
100%. I want to see a few goals on the run from outside 50, and I think he's very capable of that, a bit like Isaac Smith was. Let's move on now to our interstate imports that we're going to be watching. So these guys have travelled down to Tassie for the first time to play for a state they've never lived in. And it's great to see. Now, these are the guys that are going to have that eye on the AFL golden ticket. These guys are going to be working their butts off. Fred, did you want to get us underway with the first interstate import?
Sure. The first one we've got on my list is Jed Hagan. He is, he's classed as a pocket rocket, and he's playing for the Magpies there over in Port Adelaide by the look of it. Yep. He's only 175 centimetres, so he's not that big. And I think that's the only thing that sort of let him down about getting an AFL gig, because they do really tend to go for the taller kids now, which is a very, very, very unfortunate thing, because this guy is being touted as like a Liam Baker type player, really sort of scrappy, pocket rocket. He puts the pressure on the defenders, and he's really good below his knees, very clean, and he can take a mark over his head for his height. I've seen a few of his clips that show him really getting up and elevating and taking nice, clean overhead marks, which is absolutely awesome to see. But in every team, you need these type of players, I believe. I think height is not an issue. If you've got the toughness, and you can, especially being a pressure small forward where you're pressuring the defenders out of the forward line, I reckon you're just as valuable as an on-baller, because you can really get those defenders to make mistakes and double think about what they're going to do, because that he's right on your hammer, like he's putting all that pressure on. It's ultra important in today's gameplay. And anyone that says that height's a thing, I think it's bull crap. Some of us are blessed with height, but probably don't have half the heart this kid will have. So Good luck to him, and I really hope he does well, because I know that he'll be fighting his little ass off to get that golden ticket, and it's going to be very competitive to get into the team. So we'll see what happens, and I reckon it's going to be really exciting to see Jed out there.
By all reports, Jeremy Webley absolutely loves him. And he'll be doing a number of jobs. I've got him as a pressure forward, but he can also run in the midfield. He can also play a lockdown defender role. He's just one of those guys that you give him a job, he will go and do it. And I remember when we put the infographic of him up on the fan page, so many East Fremantle fans came on the page and said, "You have got an absolute ripper." They loved him over at East Freo. And to see that, as you said, he played a season with the Port Adelaide SANFL team. He's been around elite programs before as well, so really looking forward to seeing Jed Hagan. Next name on the list, and this is a ripper. This is a guy by the name of Jaxon Artemis. What a name. If that doesn't strike fear into the hearts of opposition players, I don't know what will. He's going to be a gun. Plays a lot like Lockie Whitfield, just that rebounding, run all day, dashing defender. He gets the ball and he just plays on it at every opportunity. This is one of the guys that really was unlucky to go undrafted. He's only 19 years old, but was really, really lucky to go undrafted, and it raised a few eyebrows, I think. Get this. All right, I want to unpack his name a bit here, Fred. Jaxon Artemis, because you get these nuffies, these so-called fans who are saying, you know, why are we getting interstate players? Why would we have interstate players coming and playing for the Devils? We're Tasmania. We should have to be Tasmanian. All right, let's unpack this. Artemis is the ancient Greek goddess of hunting, the wilderness, wild animals, nature, and vegetation. We have gone out and recruited the goddess of Tasmania. If that doesn't scream Tasmania, I don't know what will. And he's going to be a gun running off halfback. Very, very exciting and really, really clean with his disposal as well. So keep an eye out for Jaxon Artemis.
Yeah, he just watching the clips then, I haven't heard too much of him. Love his name. I can just hear like the headlines now if he rips a game over. Work of art and, you know, all that sort of play on words there. It's going to be pretty good. But he just seems very slight. They'll get him in the gym this year and over the summer and coming up, and he'll put a couple of kilos on and he'll be nice and strong and ready to go. I do like my halfback liners, because I'd like to class myself as one of them myself. So he was really good, very skillful, I see. And there was a couple of clips there you'll watch him. He actually flicks it on the opposite foot, which is pretty rare for the modern footballer. They always do that bloody outside of the boot kick. Oh, sorry, modern AFL just with skill just drives me nuts. Really does. That's just me, but I still love the game. Yeah.
All right, move us on to our next one. Fred, who have you got next?
Yeah, I've got a young fella by the name of Nelson Beikhoff-Smart, and I don't know if I've actually pronounced his hyphenated name correctly. And if I have, and you hear this, mate, send me a voicemail and tell me how to say it, and I'll gladly say it, because we've got a Gold Coast Academy leader from last year, I think it was. He's an ultimate team player apparently, and he's just a general defender, so he could probably play back pocket, half back. He's got a little bit of size to him. He's not overly big. He's about the 6'1" mark, I think, if I read somewhere correctly. And if I've got that wrong, hit me up again, mate, and then we'll get into it. Yeah, he play. Apparently, he's real clean off the halfback. He's quite wiry. He's got pretty good hands. He's got an excellent IQ for the game as well. So he's a very organised defender. He'll pick out someone out of the pack and get it straight to him. He'll try and make the right decision, that what's best for the team and the right play, like whether it be a big switch or a hold it up type moment. He'll be that type of player, and he has played 26 games in the VFL already, so he'll already have a good understanding on how fast or how slow the game is. And he said that he wanted to play like David Swallow, which is a pretty good person to sort of follow, because he looked up to him, I think. And it'd be really good to see this young fella, because I always like the disciplined type old school footy players, high IQ, and it sounds like this kid is that. It'd be interesting to go to a training run sometime soon, and if they let me in and have a little look around to see how these young kids go at training, and see how skillful they really are. Because from reading about him and seeing a few little clips, and he looks really good, and I'm pretty excited. So you'll probably find me have a huge bias to backliners, by the way.
Ditto. This might turn into the backline podcast, because we're both halfback flankers, Fred. So that might be all. If we do another one like this where we go through some of the players, we might just focus on halfback flankers that we've got in the team, because that's all we really need to know about, to be honest.
Yeah, they're the most important players on the ground now. Didn't you know
100%. 100%. Next one I want to touch on is a really left field one, and they plucked this guy out of the RDFNL. Don't ask me what that stands for, but a guy by the name of Locky Hay, who's our country smokey. He's plucked from the Victorian Country League. He's a wing half forward, and he plays a bit like Sam Menegola, rough, tough, and clean by all reports. Todd Patterson saw him playing in the RDFNL Grand Final, and he, by all reports, Fred, he absolutely dominated. And again, he was another one that when we put his clip up on the Facebook page, people were coming out of Country Victoria saying this is a great pickup. It reminds me of Port Adelaide player, and played a couple of seasons for the Magpies as well. A guy by the name of Joe Richards was playing in a similar league, and he was coached by former Collingwood fullback Ben Reid. And Ben Reid went to Collingwood and said, "You have to pick this guy up. He is dominating everywhere he goes." So Locky Hay is a bit like that one, and he makes every possession count. He wants to either break a line or set up a goal every time he gets the ball, which we are going to love him. He's going to fit in at North Hobart, no worries at all. I reckon old school, tough, hard at it footballer from the country league in Victoria.
Yeah, it's the Riddell District Football and Netball League, so it's in Victoria.
Beautiful.
Yep, just looked it up. Didn't know what it was.
I'll just Google it.
Makes me sound smart. Yeah, by the sound of that, like I love these sort of players too. Your comparison, if he's like him, good. I really, really like players like that. They're sort of in your face, bit of mongrel about them, and we probably go on about it on the Jackie's podcast about Ben Eyre and Dr. Drimick, and we love them players. So if this guy is even half as good as our guy, let's have a look at him, shall we? And I think, well, if he's been plucked out of a league like this one, which is probably a pretty strong league for all I know, I don't know, and he's standing out like a sore thumb, he's obviously got talent. If they're in any league and they stick out like a sore thumb, they've got talent. So it's just a matter of finding what league they or what level they play at. That's all it is.
Absolutely. I remember when I was trying to find photos of him for the Facebook page, I couldn't find a single photo where he wasn't covered head to toe in mud.
Does he have a mullet?
He does have a mullet. Yeah.
That was purely a guess. Sorry, I haven't seen that post, but that was just a guess. Let's go.
Really, really looking forward to seeing Locky Hay play.
Could be another people's mullet.
Could be. Absolutely. He's begging for a nickname, Locky Hay. We'll see how he goes. All right, let's move on now to the local guns. Now, these are the guys who are born and bred Tasmanians. They've either been plucked out of the local leagues or are returning back to the state to play. And these are going to be your heart and soul players. Fred, why don't you take us through what could be for some fans a slightly familiar name?
Yes. So the familiar name would be Payne. The unfamiliar name would be Geordie. So Geordie Payne, he is classed as an angry little bugger. Look at him go. Oh, that's freaky. Anyway, yeah, he's got this white line fever about him. He's got a bit of an edge, and we're just talking about them. We as our host and co-host absolutely love these type of players. What was that? He just tried to punch him then by the look of it. Did you see that? Anyway, get on YouTube and have a look at that. You tell me. Yeah, but apparently he's got serious white line fever. He just goes and goes and goes and does not stop. He's an absolute animal. He loves a tackle. He loves rubbing it in. He's hard at the ball. He puts his head down and he just keeps going. He's quite a little player to watch, and I'm really excited for him to get up and going. And I hope he does get an opportunity. I hope they do look at these players, especially. They're quite young, but he's really, really, really good. I can't wait to see him. He's originally from Burnie, so that's really good. A really good. Sort of used a good footy town. Like it's got some talent up there. It's got some real talent. I think Brad Cox Goodyear's from up that way as well. I'm not 100% sure, but I think he is. And he got picked up
by memory.
Yeah, I think so.
Was a Burnie boy.
Yeah, and so he's just going to be really really exciting. Probably one of those players you're like, oh, don't go in there and, do that, because you'll probably end up at the tribunal. Anyway, Jeremy Webley referred to him as the angry man. So I like that. Let's get him on there. I want to see a couple of angry people. And I think the last two people we've talked about is going to be pretty interesting, because if they're like that, on the field, imagine what they're like at training if they're going for the same position. So competitiveness could be very high.
Absolutely. He's gonna be a fan favorite, Geordie Payne. He was actually the number one draft pick in the mid-season draft a couple of years ago for North Melbourne. Played 3 senior games with North Melbourne and kicked 3 goals in those senior games. It was on track to be their leading goal kicker with numbers like that. But he's going to be fun to watch, and I like what you said there about spending some time at the tribunal, because I reckon he's going to be.
I just saw 2 clips there where he probably could have ended up in a tribunal.
Absolutely. Yeah. I hope he gets one of those little coffee vouchers for the restaurant next door. Because every fifth visit you get a free coffee.
Nice.
Okay, the next one, another familiar name, and this one for a different reason. We've got young Jack Callinan. Now, if the last name sounds familiar, that's because this guy is the son of Ian Callinan, the former Adelaide Crow and Tassie Devil. I believe he won the Tassie Devils Best and Fairest one year. His dad did. And Wingnut. That's
Wingnut,
right.
yeah.
Now Jack is a bit of a different beast. His dad was more of a midfielder, hard nuggety type. Jack is more of a small forward, high pressure forward, very crafty around goals. Plays a bit like Tom Papley. So he's got a bit of pest about him. Has Jack Callinan, and we love that. We love a bit of pest. If anyone's followed the Ants Nest, where we talk about some of our favourite players, we're constantly talking about Ben Eyre and Anthony Drimmick. Jack has a bit of that. He will kick goals from nowhere, and he will let you know about it. He kicked 23 goals in 11 games for the Tassie Devil in the Coates League a couple of years ago, including a 7-goal haul against Northern Territory. But he's going to be very, very fun to watch. And I was so surprised when he didn't get drafted. I thought he would have been picked up. He would have been a shoe-in because he's just got class written all over him as a small forward. What do you know about Jack Callinan, mate?
I know that his dad was absolutely awesome. His dad was a very, very skillful player, and despite him not being tall, he was very skillful. Bit of white line fever, and I think I know where young Jack gets that from, so that's all right. But yeah, he's going to be an exciting prospect. I really like I said before, I really like these forward line players that put the shit ton of pressure on him. And sorry for swearing, Mr. Monetizer. But yeah, he puts a ton of pressure on players, trying to stream out the back line and that. And I'm not going to harp over it again, but having that sort of player that's got a bit of oomph and a bit of mongrel about him and wanting the ball is quite valuable. And you've got to have these smaller type half forward pocket players.
Absolutely. Did you want to move on now to our next name, Fred? Who have we got?
Yeah, I actually know this person personally. He's a good kid. I know his family as well. That's a disclaimer to start off with, but it's Zach Adams. So Zach, this is very interesting. He fractured his C7 in his back / neck, and then he came back only after 6 months of that injury. So I've seen him waddling around in his big neck brace and this big halo harness thing a couple of times, and yeah, it was. Those things make it look worse than actually it probably really is. But to come back from that is absolutely awesome, and he can play. He is super efficient. I've watched him at Kingborough Tigers a couple of times. He's a very good organizer of the ball, and I know it sounds a bit weird saying organizer, but a good organizer, through my eyes, is someone that doesn't matter if it's a 30-40 meter kick to a player and he can get to it, or it's just those cheeky little hand passes that open up and release a player. So he's got that efficiency in his kicking and handballing and the way he plays. It just makes people around him look so much better than, I'm not going to say what they probably are, but they are, they're playing TSL, they're good, but he makes them look so much better because of how he gets them the ball. And it's a very important skill to have. I mean, he averaged like 15 disposals and 6 marks a game in the snaffle at a kicking efficiency or a disposal efficiency of 78%.
That's
so
insane.
That is bloody elite. And I think if you're hovering around 60 if you're just over half at 60, 65% at any level of football, you are going to look really good, despite you probably not getting that many disposals, because you don't need them. You don't need them because you are getting people the ball, and people recognize this sort of player. So Zach I'm super excited for him. I hope he does really well, and I actually think he'll get a run or two. I sincerely believe that, and he's going to be. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to watching him play in the Devils colours.
Absolutely. Sounds like one to watch out for sure. Another one to watch out for is a local absolute star. This young bloke is 19 years old, and he's already played in 6 premierships in the last 7 years for Devonport. Everything's just too easy for Kai Cameron. Get these numbers. He's booted 116 goals in just 26 games in the last 2 seasons. He's just a goal kicking machine. He kicked 10 goals back to back playing for Devonport last year, and he's just, by all reports, just a gun. Plays a bit like Brody Myercheck, just strong, low center of gravity. You can't tackle him. And just a proper workhorse. And he managed to kick 4 goals on debut against Frankston when the Devils played an exhibition match last year, which just shows that he's ready to play VFL. Kai Cameron, I think, is going to be a very, very handy acquisition, and one to keep an eye out for. Mate, do you know much about Kai Cameron?
Yeah, I've heard that he's very strong. Like you said, he's got very strong legs, strong hips. To be a good forward these days, you've got to have that attribute, because it all comes together with your ability to shrug tackles and get away from defenders, but it also gives you that kicking power that players need to be able to kick straight and accurate. So if you're a bit of a weak kicker, you're not going to, and you're trying to wind up and kick from 40 and you can't kick that far, and, it's just going to not be good for you. You're going to have a bad time. But if you've got nice, strong legs and a good kicking form and a good routine, like this young fella obviously does, I think he'll do absolutely fine.
Really looking forward to seeing Kai Cameron and how he goes about it. Mate, we've got one more local legend who's been added. Unfortunately, no video for this one, but very excited to talk about this young bloke.
Yeah, his name is Michael the Bull Stengel. Or Stingle,
I think it is.
Yeah, Stingle. Yeah, hard, tough midfielder. We need one of these, a Jack Viney type player. He's 21 years old, so he's filling into his body, and he'll probably get a bit bigger and a bit stronger over time. I mean, that's absolutely awesome. He won the Rookie of the Year, the Matty Richardson Rookie of the Year medal in 2021, which is super exciting for him. He's going to be, he's obviously done that. They've seen that and they've recognised that, which is a big thing for him, I'm sure. And he was runner-up in North Launceston's Best and Fairest just over a couple of years ago in 2024. So he's already tested himself at higher levels, playing VFL for North Melbourne in 2022 and spending 2023 at in the snaffle with Norwood. So those two clubs by himself are quite professional up there, VFL snaffle clubs. So he's going to be pretty exciting, and I've heard that he's absolutely blistering as a runner. So I heard he's pretty quick. So it being a bull and quick, and if you've got that first step, that's going to open a lot of avenues for someone that is a midfield bull, so to speak.
Yeah, almost like a Dangerfield type, isn't he? That'd be
if he's like if he's 5% of Dangerfield, geez, look out.
We're in for a ride. I can't wait to see how him and Geordie Payne go about it, because it just sounds like they don't take a backward step and they tackle to hurt, and I love that. That's what I want to see. I love these guys that tackle. And that's not enough. They don't want to just tackle the guy. They want to bury them. And I think that's what we're going to see a little bit.
I think they want to bite him too, by the look of it. They're
yeah,
they just want to bite him on the leg or something. Bit of ham. Wild childs.
Beautiful. All right, mate. That is all we've got time for this episode. If you've made it this far, thank you very much for listening. Hopefully that gives you a few names just to look out for in the first couple of weeks while we're trying to work out what this team actually is. But I think by some of the names we mentioned today, you can tell we are going to be in for a fun ride. Fred, was there anything else you wanted to mention before we wrap up?
Yep. By the time this pod come out, they should have had their memberships be for sale on the 21st, which is a Monday. I think they've even having little launch days down in Hobart, Lonnie and Burnie or Devonport, one of the two, but I'm not sure. I hope he's got there, and if anyone's got any feedback about, because I have to work tomorrow, so if anyone goes and got any feedback about it, or send me a voice clip or send me a little email to Tasmanian Devils SP at gmail.com. I'd love to hear what was going on there. I wanted to go, but if you ring up your boss and you say you're just going to a bloody membership launch, I'm sure that doesn't look too good, but that'd be really good if someone could do that for us. Just to get a feel of what was there, who was there, just give us a general overlay of it, and that'd be good to hear what's going on. So thanks for everyone for listening. JD, I'm sure you've got a couple of things that you want to finish up with.
Absolutely. If you have made it this far, thank you very much. We are just blown away by the numbers the page is putting up at the moment. And we love our fans. If you haven't subscribed, we do have a goal to have 100 subscribers by round one, and we're on track. We're sitting at about 66, 70 by the time this probably goes to air. So if you could subscribe, that just opens so many doors for us at the podcast. We would love you to join us every week. That's basically it we've got for this week. We'll see you next week, where hopefully, fingers crossed, we have a special guest, but nothing's been confirmed just yet. So we will let you know. And as always, Devils fans, remember the map is back.
We're the Devils, heroes.